feel like I'm like 50 years old. What is going on? I feel like we have a little bit of catching up to do. I know I don't post much on YouTube. Realistically, I would like to change that, so maybe I can change that today. I don't know. We'll see where the ball rolls and stuff with things, but I honestly don't know what I'm going to talk about in this video. I think I'm just going to go more into depth in regards to what I've been through this year so far. Today is August 8th, and I am currently on week 4 of recovery from stage 2 phalloplasty. So I'm going to go through stage 1 and stage 2 and kind of the difference between both of them, because they're both completely different surgeries that deal with different things. And I'll go through like my recovery and just kind of go through like my experience with everything. If you're new here, my name's Liam Lazor. I'm a very open transgender man. I share my story on TikTok and Instagram, and I kind of just like to enlighten the world in regards to what many trans people go through. And that's what I like to try to do by being so open about my journey. I also am so open because I want other people who are struggling with their gender identity to kind of take a look at my life and realize, like, if I'm able to get through what I've been through and to get where I'm at in life today, then you can too. Like, there is no difference between you and I fully believe that. When I was struggling in the very beginning of figuring out my gender identity or just figuring out myself, I was completely lost, and I can 100% relate to what a lot of people are feeling in the very beginning of their transition, because it's scary. Like, you truly are alone, and at that point of life, you feel like there is nobody who is able to help you, and you don't know what to do, and you just tend to like stress yourself out so much. That's what I did, at least, and I honestly didn't know where to even begin. And I get a lot of messages in my DMs and stuff of people asking where to start and everything. And honestly, I don't answer my DMs half the time, because I want you to realize, like, one, I don't have that much time in my life to do that as much as I would like to. But two, I want you to realize, like, I too was there and I was able to figure it out. And it's kind of like a tough love type of situation I'm giving you. I know maybe I look like a douchebag or a dick not answering some of your questions, but I am not the one who has all the answers, and I am never going to be someone who is trying to influence anybody on how to go about their life and their decisions in regards to their transition. It doesn't even have to be about you being trans or non-binary or anything like that, like just your life in general. I am not going to be the one to make those decisions for you. You are the only one in control of your life, so what are you doing trying to look for help and guidance from someone else? Like, take control of your life. That is what I had to do. I had to learn that the hard way as well. So honestly, that's what I'm trying to do for other people. I will share my story all day long and just kind of share my experience with everything, so people can kind of understand what to look out for or what they can expect in regards to their journey. But everybody's different. Nobody's journey is the same. Nobody's going to go about it the same way I did. So enough of me rambling and giving you that tough love or whatever. Honestly, that's also just my mindset. But my transition has definitely shaped my mindset to where it is today. So I am 100% thankful for that. If there's one thing I want to say though, if I had the choice of being transgender, I would never pick this way of life whatsoever. So I feel like people need to realize, like, this is not a choice. I didn't just wake up one day and be like, yeah, let me just transition. Let me change my genders. Because this has been a whole process. It's not easy whatsoever. So bottom surgery, this is a very extensive and intrusive surgery. Not everyone goes through this surgery solely because of like the risks and the complications that can come from it. I knew from day one that this is what I wanted. I kind of had my transition laid out and mapped out in the very beginning when I started to realize, okay, yeah, I am trans. What am I going to do about it? And that is when I started to really be like, okay, this is what I want to do first, this is what I want to focus on, and then go boom, boom, boom down the line. And bottom surgery was always the last step. I'm almost done, and I can't wait, because truthfully, I always say this, I feel like I have put my life on hold a little bit just so I can get through my transition and my physical transition, and I just want to be free from it in regards to just moving, living my life, having to think about the decisions I've had to make in regards to my surgeries. Like, I have to make decisions in regards to what I want out of surgeries, and I have to talk about it with my surgeon. You know how hard that is for someone? When I was 20 years old, I had to decide if I wanted to freeze my eggs or not. 20 years old. Honestly, how am I supposed to know that? I did not go through with freezing my eggs, and I'm just hoping for the best in regards to modern day medicine when I am ready to have children, and hopefully I'm able to actually get that situated in regards to passing off my genetics. If not, obviously there's other ways for me to have children, but I would like to have a family of my own. So for bottom surgery, my surgical team, I am seeing Dr. Rachel Blublon-Lagner and Dr. Zhao. They are located in New York City. You go through NYU Langone, and honestly, so far, the team overall, I have no complaints. I would give them 10 out of 10 in regards to making me feel comfortable. They're extremely knowledgeable, and they're very good at the work that they conduct, and just the results overall that I have, I'm extremely happy about. So when it comes to bottom surgery, honestly, you really just have like two decisions to make. It's either if you want to go through phalloplasty or metoidioplasty. In regards to skin graft, you can either get it from your forearm or your thigh. There's different outcomes, different results between the two. You can look that up yourself, but the reason why I went with my forearm, obviously, as you can see, is because the nerve endings in your forearm are like the best. And if you get it from your thigh, you're honestly most likely going to be carrying a little bit more fat percentage down there. Your penis basically is going to be pretty girthier. Every surgeon has different results. Honestly, I didn't like the results in regards to how it looked realistically, and I truly feel like the forearm, for my best interest, really looks the most realistic. And again, with my results right now, it definitely adds up. So I got stage 1 fallow done in February of this year, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2024. And that is hands down the worst thing I have ever experienced in my whole entire life. And I'm not being dramatic. I never want to go through something like that ever again. Now, I might have recovered a little bit faster than a lot of people. I think solely because I take very well care of my body, fitness and nutrients wise. And I think that definitely plays a toll, but also my age. I'm 25 years old, so I'm going to recover a little bit faster compared to like someone who's like 40. But stage 1, everything is done in New York City, obviously, because that is where my surgeons are. Stage 1 literally just deals with taking the forearm and taking your skin graft, might I say, if it's whether the forearm or your thigh, taking the skin graft, creating a phallus, which is just your shaft, the penis, and attaching it down below and making sure that everything goes accordingly, that it attaches correctly, and that there's blood flow, and you want to be able to actually hear a heartbeat. And then the skin that you see on my forearm right now, this is from on my thigh. So they take your forearm, shape your dick, transfer it down, and then to replace what they took, they take your thigh and take a little skin graft from your thigh and put it on your forearm. And that is why my thigh looks like this. This is supposed to go back to normal. And then this one was taken in stage 2. But this is supposed to go back to just my normal skin, and you won't notice it. So it's just going to take time for it to heal. This is obviously a little bit different. It is supposed to fade. It has been fading. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good. It's just kind of very noticeable. So a lot of people ask, like, what happened to your arm? Don't like that half the time, because I just feel like it draws so much attention. Like, I don't want that to happen. So kind of keep that in mind if you're trying to decide between the two. But I have seen outcomes in regards to recovery purposes with your forearm with a lot of people who have gotten this surgery, and like a year or two out, like you can't even notice it. So that is what I'm hoping for. In regards to recovery, I have to wear a sun protectant sleeve in the sun. I have to wear this for like a year minimum. So that is why, if you have noticed in my pictures, I wear this when I'm out and about in the daytime. It's just for sun protection, because this could turn black, and you don't want that to happen. At night, I wear a silicone sleeve. I was given this by my PT. I was seeing PT in New York City for my arm and my hand, and they gave me this in regards to helping out to compress the arm and the scar, and it has helped immensely. I wear this every single night when I go to bed. You want to wear it for like 8 hours a day, so I just think that's a perfect time for me to wear it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this thing for sure. But with stage one, you also get hooked up. You have to decide if you want to do urethral lengthening. That is literally taking your current urethra and changing the route so you can actually stand to pee and pee out of your penis. That is what I really wanted out of this surgery. That is definitely like in the top three of the reasoning why I wanted surgery. And yeah, I decided to go with urethral lengthening. So stage one, they kind of prep you. They don't get it up, like attached and hooked up right away, because that is what stage two is for, but they're prepping for stage two. So that's what they did with stage one. Realistically, I couldn't use the left half of my body for a good amount of time. I had no strength in my arm. I honestly had to relearn how to use my hand, my fingers, my grip strength. I had gained that back, and that was just the whole process. I think that's what made it so difficult. I was literally bedridden for 4 weeks, and in those 4 weeks, I was in New York City that whole time for a month. I had weekly post-op appointments, PT and OT appointments. So I had 3 appointments every single week, and just trying to make sure everything was going accordingly with recovery. And thankfully it did. It took me about like 2 to 3 months, though, if I'm being honest, to really get back into feeling like myself. I would definitely chalk it up that I had post-surgery depression. I was pretty down bad, as you can imagine. I had these like huge changes. So I just had to get used to it. And honestly, I've had to learn throughout my whole transition just how to get used to these surgeries and how to bounce back, and just working on myself. So it was definitely a lot, but it's definitely worth it 100%. Like, it's just mainly temporary, and I just had to keep reminding myself that like this is all temporary. From a year from now, I'm gonna be living my best life, hopefully. So after stage one, they want you to heal for about 4 to 6 months, just to see if everything's going great. Just make sure your body is used to everything. And as I healed up very quickly, I was able to schedule stage two. I just recently had it, as I've mentioned. I had got stage two on July 11th, and I am currently week 4 of recovery right now. What is included, it depends on the surgeon again. Some of them go about it differently than others. So with mine, we got glandsplasty, which is literally just like creation of the head. Like, you're getting circumcised, basically. That is what it is. And scrotoplasty and a vaginectomy. So a vaginectomy is removal of your vagina. They sewed me up and gave me a scrotum. Easy as that, right? And then I've gotten urethral lengthening, as I mentioned. So they took what they routed in stage one and connected everything accordingly. And now I'm able to actually stand to pee. And then the last thing I decided to get was clitoral burying. This is not something that you have to get. You can decide if you want to just keep it where it is or move it. So clitoral burying, if you don't know, when you go on testosterone, your clitoris literally grows. We call it bottom growth. Some of us call it like our T-dick, because it literally is like a mini penis down there. A micro penis, I guess I could say. But anyways, so I wanted to go with clitoral burying. That is literally taking your clitoris and moving it into the base of your penis. It's supposed to really help with sensation purposes, but what you need to realize is that not everyone gains sensation back. That is the risk that you need to be willing to take in regards to going through this surgery. Your nerve endings might not reconnect. Luckily enough, my sensation has been coming back, and I work on that. And when I say work on it, you honestly literally just have to like touch yourself and make sure that your body and your mind is recognizing that there is something down there that is attached to your body. So you really just need to have that type of relationship with it. So I did go with clitoral burying, and they moved my clitoris and put it towards the base of my penis. If you don't do it, it's just going to stay where it is, and it's just going to be mainly down towards like your scrotum, basically. This might be TMI, but a lot of people ask about like sex and just like orgasming and like getting off, basically. I'm able to do that, bro. I'm getting that sensation back, and it's mainly coming from your clitoris, basically. So I have immense sensation within my clitoris. When you go on T and when that bottom growth happens, like that sensation wise down there, it skyrockets. Honestly, there's just so much that goes into this surgery, and it's just crazy to see what they're able to do and the results that you have. So when I went through this surgery a couple weeks ago, I stayed in the hospital for 1 night, and then I stayed in New York City for 2 weeks. The reason why they want you to kind of stay close and in New York City is because if anything goes wrong, like, you need to go back to them and see them since they specialize in this surgery. Gratefully enough, like, I have not had any major complications or anything, so I don't want to jinx it, but I've been doing pretty well so far. And as I showed you my legs, so they took this one from stage 2 too. This is from stage 1. This is where they took a major nerve. This is from a drain I had from stage 2. It was up in my leg, so it could get the swelling out. And then this is from stage 2 as well. So this is more new. It is a little bit numb around here just because they took this nerve. So that's not really a big deal. But, also I had an SP catheter in, and I just got this taken out. I got this taken out on Tuesday, thankfully. You have that catheter in for 4 weeks, and right off surgery, you have that catheter, you have a drain in your leg, and then you have a Foley in your new urethra. So that I had a Foley sitting in my penis, sitting in the new urethra so it wouldn't collapse. And that could be a major complication that could arise, which is obviously something you don't want to happen. So after week 1, I got my drain out. After week 2, I got the Foley pulled out of my penis, and then they attached it to my SP catheter, because with my catheter, I had a pee bag, obviously. And so when they took that off, they attached the Foley to it, and I had that SP catheter in for 4 weeks now. Just got it taken out. And after week 2, you're able to actually try to pee normal and use your new urethra to make sure everything is going well. And the first time I stood to pee, I was honestly like pee shy. I didn't know what to do. You're honestly learning something new. It felt very weird. It burned a little bit just solely because of the new urethra and then the Foley being in there. But it is definitely a very euphoric feeling. Now, like, I feel great going to the bathroom. It's whatever. It's so quick. I love it. And honestly, it's going to help a lot more in regards to, 1, I feel a lot more complete in my body. But 2, like, using the public bathroom, like, that's going to be such a better experience for me, especially in the men's room. Like, I would get so dysphoric having to go use the bathroom whenever I was out, especially when I go out with friends and stuff. I'm like, fuck, like, I gotta wait for the stall. Sometimes if I had my guy friends around, I'd be like, yo, can you please go to the bathroom with me? Because I just wasn't as comfortable to go in there by myself. Because again, I had to wait for the stall, and usually there's a line and the urinals open up quicker. So it's just like thinking too much and being in your head. It's really not that big of a deal though. Anyways, after stage 2, I was feeling a lot stronger and a lot better physically and mentally compared to like the first time around. Rightfully so though, because stage 2 is just mainly dealing with your groin area, basically. And that is why I would say it's not like it's an easier recovery, but realistically it kind of is, just with how you're feeling overall. Recovery in general fucking blows, it sucks. Surgery always gets glorified, but nobody ever speaks on the recovery process of things. It's mainly all mental. It's a mental battle. Stage 1, I low-key like disassociated from life. I was just like, I literally have nothing to do. I can't do one thing, so I'm literally just gonna lay here and get through my days. And that's what I did for weeks on weeks, and it sucked. So stage 2, I kind of did the same thing, just with the first 2 weeks, and after that I was feeling a little bit better. And getting more walks in. You walking, that's what they want you to do, because it's going to help with recovery. And then honestly, you don't really need to worry about too much, because after each surgery, they give you a huge bag of just hospital goodies for you to utilize. I honestly don't run through half of this because I like having my body heal on its own and do its own thing, really. And I'll use what I need to use, but that's about it. I still have my bag from stage 1, which is a lot bigger than this, because honestly, stage 1 is just a little bit worse. But now on a weekly basis, I just have my post-op appointments. I have one every single week. And as I've mentioned and run through things, like different things happen with each post-op appointment. So 1 week was the drain. The other week was my Foley. The 3rd week was really nothing, just a checkup. The 4th week was my catheter. Next week is nothing again, it's a checkup. And then my last week will be just another checkup, really, just making sure everything's kind of closed up and going about it that way. So there is a third stage that is just your testicle implants, and then also the erectional device. There's different types of erectional devices, but what people need to understand is like, I don't think like everyone has mastered the erectional device. So a lot of complications come from that, and that is honestly what is really steering me off from going through that surgery and waiting on it, trying to decide who I want to see with that, because I can switch my surgeon if I want to, but I don't know yet. And obviously this is definitely something I want for sure, and then it just finishes off everything. You do have to get your erectional device replaced every 5 years though, but realistically it's something I want. It just sucks that all these complications can arise, and you already go through so much to get where you're at, like where I'm at now. I've been through a shit ton this year, and it's been mentally battling and emotionally hard. It has taken a toll on my body, but I know it's all worth it. It just is tough, a very tough decision having to decide if this is something you really want to go through or not. If there's like one last thing I want to touch on, it would be just how the way I view life has changed over the years. My transition has really opened up doors that I would never imagined in regards to my mental health, my mentality, and just also being able to share this openly on social media and just having the support that I do. It has opened up so many different types of doors and pathways that I never thought I would really experience in my life. So I'm very grateful. But at the same time, I also really appreciate life. I appreciate the people I have in my life. That's the biggest thing. My family and friends mean the world to me, and my friends are my family. So realistically, I have a huge family group, and those relationships mean a lot to me. I really would not be where I am today if it wasn't for all of these people, because in the beginning, I was not this confident person. I was not this outgoing social type of person. Like I was, but to an extent. With the support that I have gained and that I've always had, and having these people to kind of fall back on, that's what I did. I transitioned early, like mid-college. So I only had my college friends, honestly, to kind of lean back on. I was away from home, away from my home friends, away from my parents, my family. So really I just had like those people who were in my circle and who I saw every single day. And they brought me up so much, and without them, like I honestly don't know where I would be. It probably would have gone like a different route with things. So I'm just so grateful, and I'm grateful for the people I've met. I'm grateful for the people I have in my life today, and just like the support I get whenever I go through something serious, whether it be my surgeries. Like stage 1, I had so many text messages and everything, and like it just made me realize like, holy shit, like all these people actually care. And I'm gonna like start tearing up. All these people like care about me and love me for who I am. And that is like a whole nother thing in regards to love and whatever, but I'm just so grateful to be where I'm at today and being able to just express myself authentically and just living life and being comfortable. That's the most important thing, because with comfort comes my happiness and comes my confidence that I have. So really would not be where I am without everyone, especially if you're watching this. So I really do appreciate you, and I just feel like this is the very beginning of things for me. So again, thank you so much, and I really don't know if I can express it enough. So I truly do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate and love you all.